All right, hey, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is your best life defined. How are you doing today? How's it feel to wake up this morning? Maybe today's a holiday. I'm shooting this on Columbus Day, or Indigenous Natives, or whatever. There's a other name for it, and I don't have any idea one way or the other on that. But how's your day going? How's the weekend? Because you're coming off a weekend, or you're in the middle of a weekend. Are you rocking it? Are you like sitting there going, yeah, yeah? You know what that is? You know what vacations are? Vacations are the way we test drive our life that we don't really have the nerve to actually go after. I mean, isn't that ridiculous? We know what we love to do. We know that we love fishing and we love being outside and we love campfires and we love all this amazing stuff, right? But yet, 99% of our life doesn't involve any of that? How do you get there? That's the big issue. So I keep talking about, oh, your life sucks and this is what's wrong with your life, but I haven't spent much time talking about how do you fix it? How do you actually take it from where it is right now and move it to that wonderful place you want it to be? Well, the recipe is the same, and it doesn't really matter what the issue is, whether it's in your relationship or raising great children or having an amazing life or finding that employment you want to, that job that just inspires you and gets you excited. It's all the same thing. It's all about taking what resources you have, which is time and money, and of course effort, the ability to think about where you are and evaluate your life. And then you pick a target, just like you do when you're out target shooting or you're doing whatever you're doing. You pick a target. If it's the top of a mountain, that's your target, and you climb to it, just like that. It's confusing. I showed up 173 days. Hey, woo, hip hip hooray for me. Thank you for showing up. Hip hip hooray for you. What's your target? In fact, here's a question for you. Where will your life be in 2 years? How much different will your life look than it does now in 2 years? Now, think about that and keep in mind that in 2 years, you could have an associate's degree. You could have a certification in something. You could be a barber in 2 years. I think barber school is like 9 months. So in 9 months, you could be a barber. What other crazy things can you do? If you do the math on this, 9 months or 2 years, that's 24 months. I do 30 podcasts a month, or on average 30 podcasts a month. That's a buttload of podcasts. There's no reason I can't hit it. You know why? Because I picked it. I'm sitting in the center of my life, right in the middle of my life, and I'm looking around. I'm going, bam, what can I do? I could do that. I could do that. You know what's fun is yesterday I had too many things I could do. I could have went and played disc golf. I could have got my disc golf basket out and just walked around the field and practiced throwing the discs at the basket. I went kayaking. What choices do you have during the day? See, I think that's the driving force behind how you pick a target. Chances are you're sitting still. And in a week, your life will not have changed, other than you might come into a little extra money, you might acquire something that you wanted, but you're going to run through the cycle of your life day in and day out until you make an effort to change something. And how you do that is you pick a target. You pick a target. You don't sit still when you're in the forest. You look around. You find things. You look for opportunities. You look for ways to improve your position. And if you pick the right thing, that is those things that friggin' blow you up, that make you go, yeah, I really like doing this. Those things that actually energize you and drive you, get you excited about something. I mean, it's simple. Imagine working your butt off every day and then having all of a sudden 1 day a week where you get to do whatever the hell you want. It might be cool as hell. This is where I don't understand the resistance. I keep talking about it, and it's the same story. If you want a great relationship, pick your target. In the relationship, my target was to never have to fight with my wife ever again. And you know how I figured that out? It was simple. I just became irresistible. That, and I decided that, you know what, there was just no place in my life for anger. I don't know if you believe it. I don't know if you don't believe it. I'm not sure how to convince you. But I picked that as a target, and then I told her, I says, hey, listen, let's pick this as a target. And she said, oh, okay. And I said, these are the terms that I think will work. If you think you can come up with something better, let me know. And until then, we'll just start there. We'll start with kindness and consideration and empathy. And before we know it, we're at the point where we are now, where there's no discussion about anything in our life. Because other than what amazing thing do you want to do? And when I say amazing, I guess what I'm really saying is the ability to be in the moment. And I think that term's been used a lot, but I don't think it's actually been clearly explained. So let me give you an example. Here I am, I'm in the bedroom, and Sandy's watching my granddaughter today, so I'm not able to get a few things done, but I'm in the bedroom and I'm doing laundry. I'm folding the laundry. And it's amazing what it feels like when there is nothing else in your mind pushing you beyond the moment. There I am, I'm folding clothes, I'm folding Sandy's clothes, hanging her stuff up, doing mine, and I'm folding a pair of my shorts, and I'm looking down at those shorts, and I'm realizing that I'm thinking about those shorts. I'm thinking about doing the best job I can in that moment. That's a hell of a target, especially when it comes to your partner. When my wife used to talk to me, I'd be on the computer, I'd be watching the TV, I would be doing everything except for looking at her. Now, could I hear her? Yes, I could hear her. But instead of me giving her 100% of my time, 100% of my attention, I'm glancing between the TV and her, and she'd tell me, that drives me nuts. And I finally got it. And what it is it's about being connected to the thing that you're doing while you're doing it. That's what makes it easy. That's what makes tough things, difficult things that suck, easy to do. So back to you. Pick your target. What's your target? What's your target for the next year? What's your target for the next 2 years? How much better will your life be in 2 years than it is right now? You might as well do something, because if you're sitting still, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to be 2 years older, you're going to be 2 years heavier, and you're going to be 2 years tireder. Pick it. Now, you don't have to go back and listen to every podcast I've ever done. I'm going to give you the secret to that. And when you decide what you want to pick, it comes down to pick something that energizes you to the level that you have the energy to complete it. Pick something that you can create a story around that is so exciting that you just cannot resist talking about it. I've mentioned that Sandy and I travel. We've been on the road for over 4 years now, and we love every minute of it. Not, every minute of it, that's kind of too broad. We love what the choice has done for our life. Is there still burden and struggle related to owning a fifth wheel? Yes, there is. 41 foot of fifth wheel is a lot of work to maintain. And when I say a lot of work, I think every time we move, I spend about 12 hours working on it, checking it, getting it ready for the road. But it gives us access to so much. We don't owe any bills. We're both retired with retirement income. And it was a target. We picked it. We said, you know what? If we reduce the amount of money we're spending on all this crap, we can use it for this stuff. I'm like, really? If we don't have to buy a big house and spend it on the garage and the lawn and all that, we can have kayaks? Yeah. that's a ticket. I keep arguing. I feel like I'm arguing with the world here. I jump up on my stage every day and I'm arguing. I'm like, no, world, it's better to play than it is to work. and there's another concept that gets screwed up. Think about the target of playing more and working less. That's a pretty good target. Hey, honey, let's go ahead and decide I want to play more and work less. Good target. It has to be broken down into segments, though, in order for that to happen, because the reason Sandy and I are able to wake up every day and do nothing or do everything on any given day is because we defined it. We defined our target. We picked our target, and our target was to be debt-free, to live in a house that was small or big enough to accommodate what we needed, but small enough to not take up all our damn time and our money, and to allow ourselves the ability to travel and do the things we love to do. I'm sitting on the Grand River. Yesterday afternoon, I grabbed my kayak. I went kayaking for 2.5 hours, came back. So back to you. What is your target? When you look at your life, and don't give me that bull about, I love my life, I wouldn't change a thing about my life. Really, come on, let's cut the bullshit on that one, because the truth is, you're fooling yourself if you're going to say, I wouldn't change a thing about my life. Shit, I'm living a really great life. I'd change all kinds of shit. I'd have way more money. I would be living in a bigger fifth wheel or a motor coach. I've always dreamed of owning a motor coach. I don't have any idea why. They're expensive as hell. I got these ideas in my head. Shit, Chad, I'd change a lot. I'd go back and erase all of my past deeds, all the lost time that I spent angry. Shit, hell, I'd grab that shit in a minute. I talk about the story, and the story comes down to what's inside you. That's the truth. I'm not in it for me. I'm in it for me, but it comes down to who you are. The reason I'm able to stand on my decision and say, you know what, I realize this might suck for you, but it doesn't for me. Everything I've done so far doesn't for me. This idea of doing this podcast, I had my FFT. And if you want to know what FFT is, what you need to do is go to, or what it suggests you do is go to Brene Brown's podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but her very first podcast is titled FFT. If I hadn't had my own FFT with this podcast, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd have given it up, or I'd have never started. You can do it. You can do it. The minute that you start being real with yourself, the minute you say, you know, I don't think this is as much fun as I thought it was. It's not as much fun as I thought it would be. And when you really think about it, let's just think about what we acquire in our life and the reasons we acquire it. We have the house because of the idea of what success looks like. I mean, it's hard for people who've owned homes to rent. But I'm not averse to renting at all. I think rental is a good idea because when you're renting, you're free. When you're renting, you don't have that big mortgage. When you're renting, you have the ability to move with the tide. Life changes, the world changes. I'm out of here. I'm not stuck to this. All these people who are like, oh man, they're stuck in New York City with these multi-million-dollar apartments and all this crap. And maybe they have money to just go buy land wherever they want or buy a place wherever they want. But my point is, there's some freedom. But yet we've been taught, you rent? Oh man, that's too bad. That's like the people who see us, or I introduce ourselves to people and they may be in the RV park and they're just traveling, but they don't live in an RV, right? They're like, and I tell them, I'll say, yeah, we live full time. Oh, you're full timers? They get this like, I'm sorry sound in their voice, that empathy, it's like, oh my goodness, sorry for you. Should have managed your money better. Not even the case. Not even the case. I don't know your life specifically. I mean, that's obvious, right? But I know that no matter where you're sitting right now, you have the opportunity to do something to change it for the better. And not only that, but you probably, I think you have an obligation to yourself and to your family and to the people you love and to the mere fact that you get the opportunity to wake up every day, to not just sit there. And if you're waiting for the world to make it happen, the world is not going to make it happen. You know, the reason that I think I keep pushing this is because I know someday someone's going to say, wow, look at what he did. Wow, look at his story. Look at what he did every day. I'm going to create an opportunity with this. I'm creating an opportunity in everyone who listens to this because it's one more chance to see some perspective that isn't telling you what you should do. Talking about what you can do and why. I hear people talking about, here's an example, I hear people talking about Revelation and the signs of the times and this is the end of the world. Here's a question for you, and it seems kind of ridiculous to me, but if this is truly what you believe, if you're thinking, man, the end of the world is coming, why in the hell would you continue to do the crappy stuff you do? Better get some fishing in, better get some living in, have some fun, for God's sake, especially if you think the world's coming to an end. Going to work every day, grinding it out. Come on. Even if you have to work to pay your bills, get rid of some of your bills. Let's start living, man, because apparently, according to some people, the world is almost going to come to an end. Valid point. Valid point. Now, I realize life gets in the way. Life gets in the way. People use their job. Well, you got to work. You got to work and you got to have a place to live. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You have to have both of those. But your job doesn't have to beat you down like a dog, and the place you live doesn't have to take every penny and every ounce of time you have. That's all I'm saying. You can actually be a little different than everyone else, and it's okay because in the reality, the opinions of anyone else doesn't matter anyway. What's it matter what someone thinks of you? It doesn't. So, are you ready? This is a call to action right here. I'm jumping on the call to action. So this is my call to action. Take today and take a look at your life and start today by asking yourself a question about what thing you would like to do, what thing you've been talking about doing that improves your life, that makes your life better. Okay. And if you want to understand why I say better rather than happy, happy is cancer to a successful life. Being happy and pursuing happiness is how you got in the mess you're in. So skip the whole, I want to be happy. I want to make my life better. Pick one thing in your life that would make it better, and then wake up every day and start talking about it. Wake up every day with a conversation in your head about all the reasons you need to take action to get towards that thing or to achieve that goal, and then do it. And it's really as simple as that. And before you know it, 2 years are going to go by, you're going to be 2 years older, and you're going to be sitting there going, yeah, look at this. See, it's the wins where we find the energy to keep going. It's in the wins where we find that gas, that fuel to put in our tank to make us do the things we do. And I have every faith in the world that you can do it. And even if you're not ready to admit that most of the things in your life suck, believe me, take a look around at the faces of people in grocery stores and in traffic. You ain't seeing happy people, and guess what? They're living the same life as you. So maybe it's time to change. I hope you'll keep that in mind. Thank you for showing up every day. I will, I promise you. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.